All right, guys, we are here one more time, and we have another independent artist. This time, he's my neighbor. It's like almost in the same city I am. He's from UK as well, and we are going to talk about his personal life a little bit, and also about his artist career, and also his projects. The projects you are working right now, and also the future projects. Stu, just tell us who you are and where you are right now.
Sure. Hi, Will. I'm Stu. SJ Denney is my artist name because I thought it sounded slightly better than Stu. And I'm based in Benfleet near London in the United Kingdom.
Okay, all right. So you are making music right now. In what kind of music is it? The style you are working on?
Yeah, so I'm trying to make it original, and know a lot of people say that. Influenced by a lot of guitar alternative music, but I'm trying to bring my own kind of flavor into that as well. So I'd say it's contemporary rock, but with some weird kind of wonderful instruments in the mix as well. So a lot of I guess Arabic, Asian, African instruments thrown in as well, just to try and stand out from the crowd.
Oh, that's good. I love mixing.
Exactly.
When we talk about mixing, that's what I'm telling everyone right now. After the pandemic, the music industry made a change, and the music is more, let's say, globalized. And then everyone is open-minded to try different rhythms, different instruments, etc., and mix different genres. And that's why this is a good opportunity for us, because when we mix, we can optimize. And I see right now the music industry, especially the independent music industry, is optimizing what we already have. And this is a good situation. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I mean, I kind of fell into music, like many people, listening to the Beatles when I was younger. So the White Album is one of my favorite albums, and that's always been because it's so varied in different genres. Um, and then more recently, I got into a band called Talk Talk from the 80s, who also adopted that kind of approach. And I think coming back to your original point, lockdown kind of forced us into creating a lot more stuff at home. So I then started to reach out to more session musicians globally to get them to add their flavors into my music. And I've always been good at visualizing what would sound good and kind of arranging parts. And I took this as an opportunity to actually to make it happen.
Okay, that's good. So you have good reference then, and it's all about rock, and I can say it's about retro rock. So it's rock from the old times. I love it. I really, really love it. It's something that, just for you to have an idea, when I was in London the first time, I was going to that studio, or, where Beatles was recording before, and I was
Abbey Road, yeah.
yeah, Abbey Road, and then I was in front of that, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's amazing!" It's a we for us outside of England, and then we come to visit is like be inside of a movie, something that's not normal for us. Maybe for you it's something normal, but for me it was like wow, a lot of emotions,
No,
amazing.
I agree with you. I've actually had the opportunity to go into Abbey Road a few years ago to master a record, and I got shown briefly around Studio 2, and it's just you almost feel like crying. Like it's just such a symbolic place. It's magical.
Okay, I found somebody like me. He was almost crying. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Emotion.
important.
Stu, people are just asking me if you are going to sing today, because you
Yeah,
have this opportunity.
yeah, I definitely am. As I was saying to you earlier, I had to reschedule this twice because I've just got over tonsillitis, but I would still like to sing one song, if that's okay at some point.
Yeah, yeah, that's perfect. We can do it now if you want, and then after that we keep talking.
Yeah, go for it. I happen to have my guitar here, as if by magic.
If I
So yeah,
like, I'm gonna ask one more. But I know
my
there is
throat,
some limit because you are at home
yeah,
right now, right?
yeah, and my throat might not hold out. Let's just go with this one. So this is the last single that I released, and it's called All I've Ever Known. So it sounds very different on the record because it's got like a harmonica and hammered dulcimer and stuff like that on it. But this is kind of how I wrote it originally, just on the acoustic guitar.
Oh, you
So
wrote it.
yeah,
Okay,
I write all my
singer,
stuff.
songwriter. All right, that's
Yeah,
good. Talents.
I'd like to think so. Should we take it away?
Yeah, good.
Cool. Don't know what I'm doing here, but I've traveled from afar. I'm not asking you to rescue me, even though you understand. No man's an island without a helping hand to hold him while he's hiding. Castles made of sand. Tide comes in, my kingdom crashes down with all I've ever known. All I've ever known. All I've ever known. All I've ever known is gone. I look up to a swollen sky, then I start to realize I was living with a bitterness until you taught me that no man's an island without a helping hand to hold him while he's hiding. Castles made of sand. Tide comes in, my kingdom crashes down with all I've ever known. All I've ever known. All I've ever known. And all I've ever known is gone. No man's an island forever. It's all I've ever known. No man's an island forever. It's all I've ever known. No man's an island forever. It's all I've ever known. No man's an island forever.
That's good. I love it. A lot of
Thank you
talent. Wow,
very much.
amazing. Very good. Look,
Cheers.
I was just listening here. I was traveling because this, we said minutes ago, you have reference, very good reference, and your music style is nice. It's good. It's enjoyable. I was not only
Thank you.
listening to you, waiting until you finish. I was enjoying to listen to that, you playing, etc., and singing. Very good.
That's
Congratulations
really
for
kind.
that. So you are
Thank you.
producing by yourself.
Yeah, so I used to do that a while back, and then I started to work with a small label producing, and they still mix my stuff, but I've gone back into self-production since COVID struck. Um, I think it forced my hand to kind of refamiliarize myself with how I did that before, and it gives me a lot of time to get things right. Coming back to like points that we were discussing earlier, because I'm kind of more into the classic stuff. I'm very against using stuff like autotune. So I'd rather do the performance organically. Um, so that gives me more time in the studio to obviously get my performance right and get it to come across how I want to. So it's quite raw and it just gives me freedom. So that's what I do.
All right. So obviously, for this kind of music genre, we don't use a lot of effects, and this is
Yeah,
good because this is more raw sound. But obviously, there is a lot of people, especially the younger ones. They are producing, for example, electronic music, and they need to use effects. So it doesn't means it's bad, but obviously for rock, I prefer like you are doing. This is
yeah.
my personal opinion. Obviously, there is a lot of people with different opinions, but for me, this one is the ideal.
And
And
I
I
think
think
that's the beauty of music as well, Will. It's all subjective, you know, and it's preference. My preference is the same as yours, but I fully respect that some other people might have different views as well.
all right, that's great. That's what we need. So, you said that during the pandemic you needed to adapt. Can
Yeah.
you tell us how it was? If you had any projects that you needed to stop, which project was that, and how you did to come back in track?
Sure. So I didn't really have a project that I needed to stop. I tend to work quite ahead of schedule. So I've already got, which we'll talk about later, my next few releases all done already because I'm writing quite quickly and regularly. So I was lucky in that regard that I already had like an EP and singles scheduled to come out in 2020. But where it made me adapt is obviously I've been gigging less the last couple of years. That's still only kind of finding its feet still. Gigs are quite hard to come by now, so I obviously needed to look at online performances. Um, I personally prefer doing it face to face because I think you can read a crowd a bit better, but I had to kind of learn how to do online gigs, so that was a learning curve. Um, but then, as I said earlier, kind of recording wise, I realised I wouldn't be able to get into London and do what I used to do. Um, but I'm quite a positive person. I thought I'd try and turn the negative situation that we were all going through into a positive for me. So I think probably one of my strengths as a songwriter is I can usually hear what the arrangement needs to be as I'm writing the song. I can hear the instruments that need to be in it and roughly what they need to be playing. So I thought I'd turn that to my advantage, and I discovered, I'm not the first person to discover it, a site called Fiverr, which was really good. Um, it has session musicians from around the world. So that gave me the ability to say arrange something in MIDI and then reach out to session musicians from all over the globe and start to bring my visions into my music. So whilst it's obviously been a sad time for everyone, I guess the main things are I've been able to gig less. Hopefully that will pick up this year. Um, but I've been able to record what I think is better music and up my game as a result of that because I've been forced into that situation.
Okay, so how old are you?
I am 37, so I'm
Okay,
probably
wait, we have the same age.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually 39 because I my birthday was like 2 days ago.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Thank you. You said you needed to adapt during the pandemic with the gigs, so you made it online. Which platform you used?
So it was mainly like festivals were changing. So I was already booked in to do some festivals and some gigs, and a lot of those venues adapted as well. So they moved all those events onto online events.
Which
So
platform?
um, so it wasn't so much a platform. They'd basically just set up like a Zoom interview like we have now, and then we'd play like the gig via Zoom, and then it would go to the next artist. There were some where it was also pre-recorded, which I didn't like as much, but they'd get you to say film it and then send it in for some of the festivals. But um, yeah, it was just really the venues and festivals adapting to the climate really, and then moving the events online.
Okay, so I have a tip for you. When you don't have possibility to be performing, etc., there is a platform. I don't know if you know that. It's sessions.com,
No, I
and
haven't heard
live
of that.
sessions. You can make money on that platform. Just
Okay.
you can look for that, and learn a little bit about how it works. And this is one more opportunity because now, after the pandemic, everyone is very open to the online, the virtual stuff. So it's good for us to adapt and learn how to make money with this too. So we have both possibilities. All right.
That sounds really
So
good. Thank you.
that's my
So
tip.
livesessions.com, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I'll look at that.
There is other platforms for that, okay, but that one is the one I was testing, and I feel it's the best one for now.
Okay.
Um, I was thinking about something else that I needed to ask you. About music production. So you said you are in contact with a record label. How it
Yeah.
works? Because we have people trying to get there. They are beginners. So
Yeah.
how it was for you until you started, and from the time you started until you got in contact with a record label.
Okay, so I think record labels play a very different part these days, which is probably worth saying, unless you're like a mega superstar like an Adele or someone, I guess. So
Wait, we are talking about independent artists,
yeah,
so
yeah,
we
exactly.
obviously will not
Yeah,
compare with
yeah,
someone like Adele.
yeah. So the label that I'm working with is like quite small, I guess, in comparison, and they're really about obviously trying to get my product to be marketable and to help me with that marketing campaign. Until I got to that point, it's a good question. So I think when I was younger, I was probably trying to like hang my like sights on being like the big time kind of, like selling out Wembley Stadium. But I think the climate of music has changed quite a lot, and you have to be a bit more realistic as you get older as well. So um, I didn't really actively go out hunting for it. My ethos has always been to write as many songs as possible and to release as many songs as possible. I think for a few reasons, really. If practice makes perfect, so I think you probably do need to have the ability to write a song somewhere. You can't just get it out of nowhere, but I think you can refine it. So building up to this point, I just used to write all the time, like at least a song a day, release like at least an EP a year, at least a couple of singles. Um, and I wouldn't say I went really hard at it. I obviously gigged quite a lot, and just sent out the odd email here and there to people that I'd heard of. Um, so I probably haven't been as aggressive as some people have around that, because it's as I say, as I got older, I didn't really hang on my sights on that. I realised that you could be an independent artist and release your own stuff. So yeah, I've just worked hard at my music really, because I think if you do that, the rest should follow really.
Exactly, I agree with that. When you love what you are doing, and you are genuine, you attract the audience, the right audience for you. And it's good you said something interesting. You have more experience now, and you are more realistic. And you realize that if you keep expecting for the opportunity to be in a stadium with a lot of people to be watching you, you lose the opportunity. The years just go away, and you lose the
Yeah,
opportunity of your life of building an artistic career. And this is really interesting. This works perfectly for those starting now, especially because after the pandemic, as we said, it happened um, 2 or 3 months after the pandemic started. It was 2020. The music industry made a lot of shifts, and now the small gigs is the best ones. And now
yeah,
everyone, they are more open to go to a pub and watch an independent artist, or go to small events, even with very famous artists. People are more open for the small events, so that's the chance to get some gigs, especially the local ones, and then start from there. So
yeah. I think
about local music, so you are doing gigs where you live or outside the country too?
so. Generally, where I live, although as I said, that's kind of dried up a little bit. Predominantly around London. So I haven't gigged for a little while. I need to get back on that, in all honesty, because I've focused on my EPs the last few months or so. But yeah, largely around the capital. I've played further afield, places like Cambridge and Ireland at different points as well.
Okay, that's good. Can you tell us where people can find you on social networks, for example? Because now
Sure.
everyone will be curious. They want to know about your music and the EPs, etc., or music video. You have music videos too.
Yeah, I've got a few performances on YouTube, and I'm literally putting some together at the moment. So there's probably going to be about I'm trying to think how many I've got coming out. I've got about five coming out in the next few months, and then there'll be five more at the end of the year as well. So the best place to get me is SJ. So yeah, sjsongs.co.uk, and that's kind of the hub of everything that I do. You can get to my Twitter from that, which is twitter.com/s_j_Denney. Yeah, so if you go to those things, you'll be able to get me on Instagram as well. I can probably just give you my handle for that as well, just to make things a little bit simpler. Um, and it's just S_J_Denney, which is DENNEY on Instagram. And that's how you get
Okay,
to
it's
me.
gonna be here on the screen as well. So on the footer, it's good you give us that information because then people can try to find you and also follow the artist, guys. Just check his music and follow the artist. Follow, especially on Spotify. Your songs are on Spotify, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
How can they find you on Spotify?
If they just search that handle, so S underscore, or sorry, S space J space Denney, so DENNEY, and you'll find me on there. I've got a picture of myself sitting in a cabin with a baritone guitar, so you should be able to recognize me.
Okay,
Just go from
SJ
there.
Denny.
Yep.
Okay, so this is your artistic name, S.J. Denney, just to let
Yeah.
them know, right?
Yep.
Good.
For sure.
So amazing. About your songs on Spotify, are you sending yourself the songs to Spotify or the record label are doing that? Or the
So
producer?
yeah, the record label's handling all the distribution side of things, so that makes that a little bit easier.
Okay, all right, that's good. So for those who can't have a contact with the record label or starting now, there is a chance to send the songs to Spotify too through our platform PopHitsCo or mw3.biz/pophits. In that platform, the artist keeps 100% of the rights, and also there is some coupon codes to send your songs to Spotify for free. So in this case, SJ Denney doesn't need it because he is in contact with the record label as well. But for those who can't do it, PopHits.co is a very good help for that. Don't forget, guys, or mw3.biz/pophits. Wow, good. So I have a question. Uh, are you playing? You said London. Most of your gigs are in London. Are you playing in pubs, for example, where people can go and see you? Do you have
Yes.
any next performance you are going to do? Just let us know.
Sure. So I've got nothing in the schedule at the moment. There is a gigs page on my website which will have the gigs as and when they land. I'm hoping to land some in the next few months or so. But yeah, in answer to your question, it's usually pubs that I play around London.
Can you give an example? A pub that you were playing before?
Sure.
The best one. The best one.
Best ones. Okay, a lot of the best ones have closed down now. Let's just find some of the best recent
Oh
ones.
yeah,
Just
yeah, that's true. So many of them they needed to stop activities for a long time, right? During
yeah,
the lockdowns.
yeah,
Okay, and
exactly. Yeah,
most some of them they are closed. They still closed.
some of them are. Yeah, I'd
Oh,
say out of the recent ones that I've played, Apples and Pears in Brick Lane is a pretty good one in Shoreditch. Um, I've played that a fair few times. The Islington in Islington, funnily enough, is another good one as well. Um, I'm just trying to think. Basement in Chelmsford. So if anyone knows Chelmsford in Essex, that's a really good venue as well that I've played quite a lot. Um,
oh, you have a lot of experience with pubs, etc. I love it because, well, as you said, you are not expecting for a very huge audience. You go to a pub and then you do your music, do what you love, and you have results from that. Also making money. Why
yeah,
not? It's
exactly.
incredible. It's good. You had a lot of experience. I like it. I have a question about personal life. So,
Okay.
you said you are 37. When you started working with music? When you realized music is something I want for real as a
Um, a
professional?
long, a long time ago. So I think I started writing songs at 13, and I realized that it's what I wanted to do by the time I was 15, 16, I think.
16, okay, that's not. So you started working with music when you were 16.
Yeah, so I've been in various bands, but as they sometimes do, they just didn't kind of work long term because we all had different commitments and kind of went in different directions. But yeah, I've been in band projects, duo projects, and then I kind of started doing solo stuff around about 9, 10 years ago.
Okay, it was like indie rock band.
Um, Possibly, yeah, I'd say indie, but also slightly heavier. There was a bit more of a Guns N' Roses kind of influence, Red Hot Chili Peppers, that kind of thing.
Oh wow, like a little bit of heavy metal then.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a good way of defining it. Yeah.
that's good. Heavy metal. Wow, that's good. I'm curious now. I want to see if you have some video. I would like to see. Just send me the link.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
try and dig some out. Yeah.
all right, good. So, starting at 16, working with music, and coming from a time that you needed to sell CDs, or you needed to have your shows on DVD and sell that too. And now it's all digital.
Yeah.
My question is, personally, how it was to make that transition for you, because now you are doing a different transition. Normal people without any contact with record labels or producers, they can produce at home and still go to Spotify, right, as a
Yeah.
professional if they
Exactly. Yeah.
want. And if they have, they work with excellence, because Spotify doesn't accept anything like that, has no quality. Good,
Yeah.
okay. But that time you made that first transition from CD to digital, how it was? Did you feel like difficult, or like that you couldn't do it anymore? How it was for you?
I've got to admit, like the first time, it's just the same as I feel now. It's really difficult, I think. So whilst there's lots of pros of like the digital world and the fact that anyone can get out there, it makes it really hard to kind of differentiate between what people like and what they don't like because the market's almost saturated. Um, so I found it really challenging, to be honest. At first, I probably did feel a bit of should I continue doing this, if that makes sense, because it just
I
felt like the world
knew
was a bit.
that. That's why I was
Yeah,
asking about it. You felt that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd have probably still always written songs because I don't think you could switch that off. That's the way that I handle like scenarios in real life. I can't help write songs. It's just something I do. Um, but it's a scary world in some ways. So I was used to like playing, like gigging my pants off and playing loads of gigs all over the place, and selling CDs at gigs. Um, and to then realize that kind of the gig market had changed a little bit, and obviously you released everything digitally, and there was MySpace, and obviously all these things coming out. It is quite daunting at first.
Okay, okay, that's good. That this is the reason we have PopHitsCo, because this is a music chart just for independent artists. Because if you are competing on Spotify, depending on that to get plays on Spotify and make money for that, but competing with an artist that is in a major label and receiving like 5 millions of investment in publicity.
Yeah, it's not
Uh,
possible, is it? It's you've got to know your market, right?
Exactly, exactly. So this is the reason we are doing differently with MWT.biz and PopHits.co, bringing the independent artists a level up. So we have that support, and from there they keep developing. We give tools, and also we give a cash prize. Since the community has 333 active members, we revert all the revenue to the members as a cash prize. So you can be part of it, and it's open for everyone. Just go to mwt.biz/casting. It's a good opportunity to get that money too, and because this is a free money, it's just a prize. So why not? And improve your career, invest on yourself. I'm telling that for everyone. If you want to succeed, you need to invest in yourself, not only for new instruments or paying for producers, but also for studying music, like singing classes, etc. Everything that you can do to optimize your career, exactly like if you are doing the production of an artist. and you as a producer in this case. Because that's why before producers were doing to artists, they were just getting the artist and optimizing the career. You can do that to yourself and treat yourself as your best client. So this is that's why we want to give that support so people can learn and keep going. Right. So we have now 6 minutes to talk about anything you want. Do you have any message for the audience and also about your next projects?
Sure. So I'd obviously like to plug myself. So I'd love it if the people watching this could check out my music. The last single is the song that I played live called All I've Ever Known. I've just released the EP that's taken from as well. So that's called Four Reasons to Fly EP. Um, and I've got two more singles and another EP coming out later this year. And in the next month or so, I'm finishing the next record that's due out the year after, and a couple of singles from that as well. So just keep checking out my music, keep the streams flowing, and also just try and listen to the lyrics as well, because I'm trying to tell a story that's relatable as well. Um, I think my music's changed a lot as a result of lockdown. So the EP that I've just done was written kind of the start of 2021. So when we were going back into lockdown again, and we weren't really sure when we were going to be coming out of it. Obviously, things have gone quite well in that sense. Um,
But it was actually good for
yeah,
music because when you are a little bit down, we are better with
exactly. Yeah,
creativity, like writing, etc. Even if it's just for an article or music lyrics, I think it's a good opportunity to do stuff in a way that we don't do when we are too happy. We don't have time to
yeah.
stop and concentrate. But if you are a little bit down during the lockdown, we had that experience was good. So it's a opportunity to when you have time and you're a bit down, keep writing. This is a very good moment, and I'm telling that maybe in your case you have a lot of experience with that, but for our audience, they can learn with this too.
Yeah,
So
I think you're absolutely right. I think songwriting is a really good way to sulk. That's the way I describe it. So you've got to be a little bit down, because I've never really come across an artist that's never been down at any point. I think you
so
should
you, a
probably,
little bit of depression sometimes is good.
yeah, exactly. Let's call it healthy depression, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to think. Well, I think of myself as quite an introverted person. Like, I love performing, and I think I'm a different person on stage, like as a lot of artists are. But outside of being on stage, I'm probably quite shy. Like, and I kind of hide behind these songs that I write. And I found it quite interesting that going into lockdown was so difficult for me, because I thought that I'd cope with it quite well, being quite an introverted person outside of the on stage side of things. But
So that side was
yeah,
good. So being
yeah,
alone was good.
yeah.
You and
But then you still realise that you'd quite like the opportunity to go to a pub. You'd quite like the opportunity to go to a gig to watch someone else. It's when it's taken away from you and it's not in your control, I think, is when it's really difficult. Um,
okay.
so I tried to tap that into the music. So if anyone listens to my EP that's just come out, or the single that I sung earlier, there's a lot of references to lockdown.
Okay, that's good. Wow, that's good. A good message for us. So also, I will put this information about your social networks during the whole interview. So that information for everyone to follow the artist SJ
Denney.
Denney, SJ Denney. Don't forget, guys. And SJ Denney, look, was an honor for us to have you here. Especially because it's not only for promoting your songs, because we are learning too with your experience. We love that, learning with others' experience. And with this, we bring optimization for our music too. Thanks for that. And you are invited when you have any new projects, you want a new interview to promote our new projects, just come to us, contact us. So where you found us? Which
Um,
platform?
so I've been using Muso Soup.
Musosoup.com, okay?
Yeah. So I found that they've like you've probably already given this advice to people, but I found that they're probably one of the best platforms for kind of getting out there, getting reviews, getting coverage. So you basically submit your song, do like a press kit to go with it, photos, and then it goes out there to people like your good selves to then work out if you like it and then get the promotion that works for you. So I find that that works pretty well as well.
So you have your articles about your songs and reviews in
Yeah.
different websites about music and blogs, etc. So the curators can also put your songs on playlists.
Yeah, so playlists, reviews all over the place. And that's one of the big pros, right, of the world at the moment. Although it's difficult, we have the opportunity to get our music out in so many places. And I think that you just need to grasp that and have your music anywhere you can have it. Because no publicity is bad publicity, is it? So
Yeah, that's true. We have to finish now, unfortunately, but I could be here talking to you a long time. But anyway, you can come back, okay? Thank you
thank you so much.
for your time here. All right?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I love what you're doing. And I'll ping across some stuff later on as well.
All right. We love you. We love what you are doing because without you, we can't have the superpop.tv.
Thank you so much.